Welcome to another edition of Laurie Maves ART, live painting in the studio. I just did this wonderful interview with Dr. Evelyn, and I can't wait to interview her. Hopefully, she'll accept my invitation to participate in the Creative Journeys interview with me. I'd love to hear more about how she combines creativity with her ministry. So, today I really plan on finishing up this great large mosaic that I have been working on, mostly live here on Substack and which also loads up to my YouTube channel, Laurie Maves ART. Um, and I'm finishing this the way I do a lot of work in my sketchbook is by I'm going to be encapsulating some pieces. So all that means is I'm just going to um, some of the spaces where the line quality is not as solid or clear. I'm just going over some areas to clean it up. And then I'm pretty sure, besides, with the exception of putting on a clear coat or a varnish of some kind to protect the painting, and also that clear varnish is going to make everything pop. These colors are going to pop so much more, and the metallics should really shine and shimmer in the different when and under different light. Um, that'll be it for this painting, and then we'll be moving on to a new painting. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. So all I'm using today is just a very small amount of oil paint. I'm using a mix of Grumbacher and Winsor Newton oil paint, and that's the amount I'm working with today, and that should serve all the purposes that I need to finish this large mosaic piece. So thanks for joining me. If you're new to my channel, I hope you're able to subscribe to Substack and to YouTube. Was trying to figure out if there was a way I could get a soundtrack to play in the background. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm going to try to bring you a little bit closer, guys, because you can see the detail a little bit better. So step up here with me. Sorry for shaking camera. Okay, you should be able to see Laurie up close and personal. So again, all I'm doing, I think you can see that here, is this painting has been at least one other painting, and I can't wait to post the two. The last piece this was, which was a very dark blue, dark navy blues piece like this. Was kind of a mosaic in its own right, but um, it was much darker, and nobody ever connected with that painting. So because I didn't sell it, I am revamping it, giving it a new life. And so again, like, I can't wait to post the two together for you guys to see the difference. I mean, this is basically like a brand new painting, but I wouldn't have arrived at this mosaic treatment had it not been for that first painting. So I think maybe on this Substack And on YouTube, maybe in the comment section, I'll show a picture of the old painting, and you might be surprised. But this one is a lot more organized. This painting is super detailed oriented, and not even detail oriented, but it's way more. It's a super tight painting for me. Usually I do big expressive types of paintings, but this one has been really good for practicing this little shape making, which I like to call encapsulation. I've done a couple of blogs about encapsulation. You too could work at encapsulation. I'm just basically taking color and making shapes, identifying shapes with it. And it's a really wonderful meditative process to do. So, from an expressive arts or art therapy perspective, you can take your sketchbook and do the same thing where you just make little shape after little shape. And it's quite satisfying. I bet you just about anything, my blood pressure is going down as I do this process. That would be that would be a great, that would be a great live stream, is for me to take my blood pressure when I begin a painting and then to take my blood pressure after a half-hour painting. My bet is it goes down. I don't usually have a problem with blood pressure though, but some days I think we all might tend to have a issue with it, depending on how much stress we are allowing to control our lives and our mindsets. Hopefully, you will consider turning off your TV because I have determined that there's nothing good on there lately. And the media, doesn't matter what side you're on the media. I think one side is worse than others, but even the fact that I identify that, I should question myself because I've been reading this book by Eckhart Tolle. Is it Eckhart Tolle? Tolle? Eckhart Tolle. And it talks about our thought process and taking the sides and complaining about other people and taking sides against other people is really comes from a limited capability or viewpoint of an individual. And propaganda plays on that. And if you're able to step out of your normal thinking patterns and sit more in stillness or a meditative state, you'll find that your opinions really can rule you think and feel about the world and other people. And it's really just a thought. It's a thought that you're holding. And thoughts aren't really who we are, they're separate from us. So when we over identify with our thoughts, we kind of end up in a semi insane situation. So if you're finding that your mind is racing with thoughts, especially after you watch the news, then maybe tuning off the news for a while might be a very good prescription for you and your mental health. Okay, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go a little bit up here for a while. I probably should lower that down. That would certainly serve my back really well. I just lower this down and I don't have to reach so far. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're having a very blessed day and that things are going your way today. It's funny, I don't know if I want to get stuck encapsulating all these pieces. I don't have to, but I kind of like this multicolor background, but I don't know. Maybe just some of them. Plus, there's no way in an hour I could do all of this area. So, and decide what to do. I'm going to go ahead and I think as long as this white is lighter, I won't lose my shapes. There we go. I should have probably started a process where I counted each of these mosaic sections. I bet there are a lot. I think I'll save that for another day. So this painting is available for acquisition. It was not made as a commission or with anybody in particular in mind. I just had an old painting that I was reworking. So I think there were a couple people that have expressed some interest in here. Um, if you stuck with me and watched this evolve to the end, then you could see if you are enjoying the completion, which I'm thinking if you're enjoying it this last state, you'll probably enjoy it its final state. All I'm doing here is cleaning up the lines in between these spaces. In my mind, I wanted to see them a little more clearly. And, and then this piece will be ready to go to the framer, or it can be rolled and shipped in a tube to wherever you may be on the planet. But probably not Portugal, because I sent a painting to Portugal and it came back. It sat in customs for 2 months, at least a month. This poor painting. And this client that I was a close friend, this newfound friend that I was trying to send it to, and she never got it. She never got a notice from customs that it had arrived, and she never got a notice. Oh, sorry, she finally did get a notice that she hadn't picked it up, so they sent it back. Which is funny. She's like, I never got a notice. So I think I'm going to stick to mailing paintings to. I'm in the US, so probably to the US for now until I don't know about shipping internationally after that. Snafu. I just love painting. My hope is that when making these videos, that someone out there might see it. And if you want the painting to purchase, that's wonderful. That's how I make my living, by selling my artwork. But also, if you're just interested in learning about painting, then connect with me on any of these platforms and we'll get you started. S- And you don't have to be an artist to do what I'm doing. Okay, you should have some artistic background before you take on a big painting like this. Okay, I will say that. But it does not mean that you can't pick up a sketchbook and some art supplies like colored pencils or markers or oil pastels and do this little process where you contain little shapes. It really is a wonderful thing. And yeah, but it is lowering my blood pressure. It's helping me use different places, parts of my mind, because I don't really have a plan. I haven't really had a great plan for this painting. It's just as evolving as it's evolving. It's another fascinating thing to witness. So if you haven't started a creative process and like maybe you're a retiree or maybe you're an empty nester, maybe people have given you sketchbooks and journals in the past and you don't know how to start. Well, connect with me or look at some of my YouTube videos and I help you get started. And it's not that I give you permission that you can make whatever you want. Your sketchbook is about you. Your sketchbook is about your creative process. Your sketchbook is a recording of events of the day or how you were thinking and feeling on any given day. And you don't have to share it with anybody. I just choose to share it with you guys because I'm encouraging you to develop a creative, expressive practice because it is something that really can be very transformative for people. And after making paintings for 30 years and being an art therapist for almost 30 years now, hard to believe That's 29 years, actually, when I got my degree in 1997, which is 29 years ago. So I have a bit of real life experience with this creative thing we call a creative practice. And I've worked with all kinds of people, and I've seen it help all kinds of populations and ages, from the elderly and geriatrics to 3, 4, 5-year-olds, from military veterans to adolescents struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts. I've worked with cancer patients, people receiving chemo, and almost all of them have this common theme where when they're making art, they lose track of time and they don't think about their problems anymore. It's a magical thing that our creativity can do for us. It can help transform our pain and suffering, can help us exercise our feelings. It can help us problem solve. It can help us de-stress. So many wonderful things come from a creative practice. And that's the whole point of me making these videos, is just to share it with you. And again, hopefully it might ignite some kind of interest. If you've been wondering about creativity, or you've been wanting to get started and you just don't know how, please reach out or leave me a comment and we'll figure out how to get you started. You might be a person who says, I don't have a creative bone in my body. Well, first of all, that's something that somebody told you along the way, but I don't believe that's true. I bet everybody has many, many creative bones in their bodies. They just haven't learned that yet, or they just haven't had a positive experience with their creativity. Reverend Evelyn and I were talking about how, think of all those teachers, those elementary school teachers, hopefully not as many in this day and age, but who told a kid that their art wasn't good, or they failed some assignment that had to do with art, and turned somebody off from making art. And how that teacher has really done that student a huge disservice, because when we judge our creativity, it's one thing if you have an assignment and you're supposed to learn a skill set about reproducing a bowl of apples, a still life painting, but it's another thing to squash a person's creativity. So if you're a school teacher and you're watching this, think about that and think about your students. And before you criticize their creativity, think about a long line of damage you might be doing by discouraging a person to explore their creativity. As long as when they explore their creativity, they're not hurting anyone, they're not hurting themselves or anybody else. There are those kind of whack jobs out there, so it's unfortunate. The world is such a complicated place, isn't it? Hey guys. Oh, thanks for joining as I'm rambling here. I'm finishing up this painting today. If you have questions, put them in the chat. So it's funny, as I was talking about this painting, and then I started talking about the creative process, and I don't know how much you guys heard me drone on about that, but hopefully everyone who's watching this has their own creative practice. And if you don't, I would love to help you get started. Oh, Anna, thank you so much. I really am in love with this painting. It's almost done. I'm cleaning up all of the, if some of the edges of these mosaics, I don't want to lose that gray so much, but some of the underpainting is still a little bit, grayish. And so I'm just kind of tightening that all up without, hopefully, without losing the integrity of the way the image is now. I kind of like that dark section in there. Let's see. That's a little bit darker. That's good. It would be interesting to count all these pieces. Hi, Judith. Thanks for joining. If you guys aren't subscribers to my Substack or YouTube, I encourage you to do that because the more subscribers, you know how that works, more people get to see this stuff. And then hopefully more people, if they're interested in starting a creative practice, or if they already have one, but they want to shift how they approach their painting, I help people do that. And I love helping people learn because someone told me this: when you teach, two people learn, right? Because you learn as a teacher, you learn from your student if you're opening your mind to that. It's like with our kids, I learned so much from my kids. I know I'm always trying to teach them stuff too, but boy, if I when I'm open to that, your kids have so much to teach us on a daily basis. They're living such a different life than we lived. Thank you, Judith. These are my beautiful shapes. When I first looked back, I thought it said beautiful shades. This is kind of a typical palette. For me, I love the blue, gold, bronze, copper penny palette. I think it works well for a lot of Floridians, which is where I am located. But these also remind me, these mosaic, it really, when you step back, it looks, um, I have this closer to you so you guys can, oh, thank you. Thank you, Judith. I moved it up close also because this was so high. And, I've been painting for so many years now that physically it's kind of taken its toll on my body, so I try now to not paint really more than an hour at a time, which is a shame because I used to be able to get in these zones where I would paint for 3 or 4 hours, and I just can't do that right anymore. My body, my back, my spine, it doesn't like it. So, try to limit it to, like, an hour and then come back another hour later. Those days are gone as far as just not I used to just be able to paint for, like, a full morning, like, for, 4 hours, take a break at lunch, and then go back another 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon. I just can't anymore. Little lady getting old, but we're gonna keep this Laurie truck moving as long as we possibly can. That's a really pretty blue. That's also a pretty green. I don't wanna take that out. What time is it? 3:40. Okay, I think I started this a little bit after 3, so I'm gonna go for about 5 more minutes, and then I'll be good for today. But this painting is I am finishing it today, so I had decided that, and it's she's almost done. The only thing it really needs is a clear coat, and that doesn't is not exciting to me, a live streamed material, although it's necessary, and it's really gonna punch these colors. It'll be really I'll be very excited to see this with a clear protective coat on it. Got a scoop. Thanks. Thanks, honey. Thanks for your comments and thanks for watching. I appreciate when people log in and leave comments or if they questions are great. I always feel that way too. Like if I'm in a live and then you got to scoot out. I appreciate when people say, I got to scoop. I gotta go. So, guys, if you do have any more questions, just let me know. I'll put the final image on YouTube and on my Substack page, The Sketchbook Diaries of an Evolving Art Therapist. I hope you're already subscribed to that for my thoughts about the creative process and day to day living. Hmm, Getting really close here. This is so exciting to be at this point of the painting when it's getting close to resolution. With all my paintings, I have no idea where they're going to end up. So it's like I can see the finish line with this one, and I'm really excited about how it's all come together. It doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's a wonderful thing. Wasn't expecting that. I don't know if you can see that one, but it turned out pretty turquoisey. All right, kids, I'm going to continue this process to finish this piece today. Thank you so much for watching this painting unfold. I've said this before. It's like when you're watching your energy, and it's not, it's funny. My husband thinks that's a weirdo thing to say, but your energy is in the painting because you're watching it evolve. I believe in that. And it's different than if I wasn't speaking or engaging with you, right? Okay, I'm going to end up here for today. Check out the final, and I'll take you up close, and I'll take you far away. This is the top left corner. I think I'm going to continue some of that white into there. Maybe not. It looks like kind of like a big wave. Oops. There you go. Really see then. It's kind of like a seascape, landscape, lakescape. This white area here now looks kind of like a cloudy area, like a big cloud. So I might move some of that white through there. I'm excited. I'm excited that you joined me today, and best wishes to you all. Check back to see the final. Ciao, ciao. Have a good day.